And I am live again. It is so lovely to see you. So, today's question is a really, really good one. Um, I'm just going to shut up for a moment so you can read what's zipping by underneath. Right, that ought to do it. So, I was actually supposed to be joined again today by my friend Dave. Unfortunately, he has lost his voice. So I don't know if he's going to join me on LinkedIn to fire questions at me. That was a suggestion. I don't know if he has the time for that or not. He might be busy doing other stuff, and that's totally fine. Um, so, as I said, this is a really, really excellent question. Is intellectual property an intangible asset? And a lot of people may be wondering about this. So I've done a little bit research. I mean, I know, of course, about it, but I want to present you with as much value as I possibly can. So I have looked it up on what's it called? Wikipedia. And Wikipedia says an intangible asset is an asset that lacks physical substance. Now, this is a really good explanation. And hang on, I need my asthma inhaler. I do apologize. Right, here we go again. So, examples of these intangible assets are patents, copyright, franchises, goodwill, trademarks, trade names, and I would add software as well. So the stark contrast to the physical assets is that physical assets like machines and buildings and furniture, that's all these are all things that you can actually touch. And so what you can do with your trademark, for instance, because I'm a trademark specialist, is that you can have your trademark put onto things. This is my trademark, remember? And this is a roll-up banner that I've got. That's one way of utilizing it. This is another splendid example of intellectual property. My brain is a little bit slower today than it normally is. I do apologize. The fact of the matter is that this book is, of course, my copyright. What I've done also is to add, as you can tell, my trademark onto, here, every single page. So you can see that. There we go. Yeah. So that's what you can do with, say, the trademark. You can also, say you were someone who did stone carvings, you could then somewhere on the stone, you could put your trademark. I think that the people who sell this also have no, maybe not. No, maybe not. But you could do it on this. You could, if this was your product, you could stick your trademark onto it. What else does Wikipedia say? An intangible asset is usually very difficult to evaluate. Yes, they suffer from typical market failures of non-rivalry and non-excludability. Okay. Today, a large part of the corporate economy consists of intangible assets. Yeah. So this is really interesting, actually. What else can I look at? Here's something called Investopedia. What are intangible assets? Examples and how to value. So here they're talking about an intangible asset is an asset that is not physical in nature. Goodwill, brand recognition, and intellectual property, such as patents, trademarks, and copyrights, are intangible assets. Intangible assets exist in opposition to tangible assets, which include land, vehicle, equipment, and inventory. Additionally, financial assets such as stocks and bonds, which derive their value from contractual claims, are considered tangible assets. Yeah. Here they are coming up with how to understand an intangible asset. An intangible asset can be classified as either indefinite or definite. A company's brand name is considered an indefinite intangible asset because it stays with the company for as long as it continues operations. An example of a definite intangible asset would be a legal agreement to operate under another company's patent with no plans of extending the agreement. The agreement thus has a limited life and is classified as a definite asset. Very interesting. While an intangible asset doesn't have the obvious physical value of a factory or equipment, it can prove valuable for a firm and be critical to its long-term success or failure. You might want to write that down, actually, just for your own sake. For example, a business such as Coca-Cola wouldn't be nearly as successful if not for the money made through brand recognition. Although brand recognition is not a physical asset that can be seen or touched, it can have a meaningful impact on generating sales. That is so true. And now we get to the bit of valuing intangible assets. Now, this may be really, really valuable for you to pay attention to. Businesses can create or acquire intangible assets. Yeah, we know that. As an example, a business may create an email list of clients, or they can take out a patent. If a business creates an intangible asset, it can write off the expenses from the process, such as filing the application, the patent application, filing the trademark application, hiring a lawyer, or paying other related costs. In addition, all the expenses along the way of creating the intangible asset are expensed. However, intangible assets created by a company do not appear on the balance sheet and have no record book value. Because of this, when a company is purchased, often the purchase price is above the book value. Very important to note, of assets on the balance sheet. Yeah. So, for instance, if, say, you wanted to sell whatever business it is that you've created to an American company, I know for a fact that if you don't have a registered trademark, they will put your goodwill at 0. So that means you would only get the value on the book. So just additional information here. So the purchasing company records the premium paid as an intangible asset on its balance sheet. Yes. Okay, so now I wonder if anybody has any questions for me. Type, 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 type. I'll see if Dave hasn't seen my message, unfortunately. Oh, well, never mind. Such is life. Hopefully he will have regained his voice and is able to join me next week. So far, no questions have popped in to me here in the back office. You could either do that on YouTube or on LinkedIn, depending on where you're watching it. I will get notified either way. So because there are no questions, I think I am going to wrap it up. I've been waffling for nearly 11 minutes now, which isn't half bad. Although considering how long I was talking to Dave last week, this is ultra short. But it's always different when there are two people having a conversation. So that's the reason for that. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. If you would like to know what the topic is, it is intellectual property an intangible asset? And to learn the answer to that, I recommend that you go back once the live has ended and watch the live on replay from the very beginning. That way you will know. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me yet again for a live, or you may actually catch it on replay. It doesn't really matter to me. But yeah, so thank you so much, and I shall see you next Tuesday, 12 noon. Bye for now.